Good afternoon, Zinger Nation. My name is Logan Ross, and this is Moon or Bust, your home for all things altcoins and DeFi. Live from Detroit, Michigan, today we'll be talking about the PolyNetwork hack and giving you an update on the crypto markets and the ongoing NFT mania. And then we'll be interviewing the co-creator of Axie Infinity, the biggest blockchain game in existence. So load up your MetaMask, get your popcorn, because it's about to go down. I am joined today by DeFi developer Brian Moir and Layer 2 enthusiast Ryan McNamara. How are you fellas doing today?
Just dandy.
Doing well. Got my ETH hat. Brian's got his ETH hat.
It's just me that's missing it. Well, I'm super excited for today's episode. If anyone out there in the audience is also excited, let us know by smashing the like button right now. I see we only have 8 likes. Let's see if we can get to 50 today. This is a huge interview after all. So tell the YouTube algorithm that Moon or Bust is where it's at. Well, you are down there. Check out the description. The top link is the separate Benzinga crypto YouTube channel where you can get all of the crypto clips exclusively. Also join the Telegram for a 25% off discount code on those sick ETH hats you see the boys wearing. As always, make sure to connect with us on Twitter. But with that out of the way, let's get started with the news. So Brian, you want to tell us about the PolyNetwork hack?
Yeah. Do we have another? Can we do that other layout? Are we
Yes,
gonna stick to this one?
Boom.
There we go. So, if you guys didn't know, the PolyNetwork got hacked for about $60 million, and the hacker has now started slowly returning some of the funds, pretty much saying, "Hey, you need to get this secured, locked down, and maybe I'll return it all." I don't know. If I had $600 million, dollars, I would. I don't know what I'd do in this case, but I don't think the money's important to him. What the money is from what it looks like on the news I've seen. What's more important is making sure that everything's safe and secure, as opposed to someone being able to steal all this. It looks like it was from a vulnerability where, because it was cross-chained and you can do transactions on multiple different blockchains, that's where he found the vulnerability. And there was one certain clause, and you can kind of find it in the GitHub repo of Polychain, where if anybody can call a cross-chain transaction, but what happens is, in the header there is some metadata that allows you to prove that you're owner of this said transaction, and you want all this stuff on this other thing that you own to cross over. He pretty much got a hold of everything and brought it to his own wallet, or multiple wallets or whatever. He pretty much took all the money off those smart contracts and was able to easily just send it over to his own where he can control it. Now he's saying, hey, this needs to be in a multi-sig. I will give some of it back, or I'll give all of it back, but it needs to be secure and locked down. So it's a pretty big, pretty big movement. I mean, it's the largest hack in DeFi history, and DeFi history is only like a couple of years old, but that's still a huge, huge deal. I don't know the legal repercussions if you find a vulnerability and exploit it. Is that really illegal, or is it just messing around with code? That's the gray area. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
Did you guys even know about PolyNetwork before this hack? Because I, for one, did not.
I did not. I had a lot of people telling me that it was Polygon Network, but it's not. It is not the Polygon Network. It's PolyNetwork, and I didn't know it had $600 million in it.
Yeah, neither did I. So, Brian, I kind of want to talk about what the exploit was once again. So when you're doing a cross-chain transfer, so say you're going from Ethereum to this PolyNetwork, There's a smart contract on Ethereum that acts as like a lockbox. So you put your funds in that lockbox, and that lockbox sends a function call to another smart contract on the Poly network that gives you, the same tokens that you locked up. And someone was able to exploit this lockbox. It didn't have multi-sig on it, or it did with only one signer. So they were able to just open it up for everyone's funds. It's good to see that they're giving them back. Ryan, I saw that there was something on Twitter. A lot of people were saying that he bought an alien punk with the stolen funds. Can you tell us if this is true or not?
No, that's fake news. So there's a CryptoPunk bot that said that the alien punk was bought, and it said it was bought by the wallet that hacked the Poly network. But yeah, that was just fake news.
Just a joke. Okay, so it's kind of like the sauces. Amazon buying
it would be smart for him to do that, because then he would own some CryptoPunks that are super rare. At least he'd have something that way. He can't really spend that money outside of the DeFi ecosystem. So, might as well get some JPEGs.
Exactly. That's what I
That's right.
So that is a great transition to our next segment on NFTs, on those JPEGs. So does anyone want to fill us in on their JPEG pickups?
Yeah, sure. I know Brian got a glue factory that he can talk about. Yesterday I picked up a bored banana. So these have me pretty excited. Not so much for the actual banana that I got, but this NFT will grant me access to a Siren of the Sea, which are some pretty cool NFTs coming out. It's a profile picture / gaming NFT. Let me pull up OpenSea. I'll show you guys what they're all about. But there's a bunch of different rarities, and actually the one I got, it grants me access to a special rare Siren of the Sea because my banana has a sticker on it. Well, while I pull this up, Brian, do you want to give a little overview of this glue factory? I know that sounds pretty cool. I know you picked one up yesterday.
Yeah, one of our other producers, Scott, pushed me onto it, and so it's a NFT project that they are creating a comedy animated series around. And I've actually now doing some more research. I've seen a few other NFT projects that are promising that, hey, we will, once we hit this X number, we will start on an animated series. But what Glue Factory has done is they are actually creating it beforehand. Like, they're trying to make it to where you are owning a piece of that cartoon, and hopefully it goes, hopefully it makes it to the big time. That's their goal, and that's what their objective is. And the cool thing about it is there's a lot of really cool people involved in the Glue Factory project. We have a lot of people from really well-known comedy shows on TV right now, and in the past. You got Saturday Night Live, Modern Family, all that kind of good stuff. So there's a lot of potential to this project.
So can you guys see my screen?
Yep, it's up there.
Okay,
now.
Cool. So yeah, the floor price is only 0.06, which is pretty low for 1,300 owners. Like I said in the last stream, that's something to look at, because then you can see, how many on average, how many NFTs does one owner own? And with 1,300 owners, that's pretty good, especially considering there's only 4,000 items. Most NFTs, they have 10,000 items. You see Pudgy Penguins has like 4,000 owners out of that 10,000, so about 40%. This is a little bit over 30%, so it's really not bad. But here you can see some examples. They have a bunch of different traits. They all look pretty rare, in my opinion. But the value from these are coming from the ones with the stickers. So there's two types of stickers here. The ones without stickers, they grant you access to mint a Siren of the Sea come, I think it's August 21st, so 10 days from now. But the ones with the bored banana stickers, those will get you access to a special skin on your Siren of the Sea. And then there's also some Bored Ape Yacht Club stickers on some of these. So as you can see, they're going for more if they have the stickers on them, because that grants you access to some rare NFTs in the future. The Bored Ape NFTs, those don't give you a special skin, but they guarantee you get Bored Ape attributes on your Siren of the Sea. So that could be pretty cool as well. This is just one of the many I'm watching right now. Logan, do you want to update the crowd on Pudgy Penguins at all, or is that a little sore subject for the day?
No, we could do it. So yesterday, I woke up. Let me just fill in some background if anyone hasn't heard my update on the story. So last Thursday, Ryan tells me, "Hey, you should check out these Pudgy Penguins." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure. These guys, they look rare. Seems rare. They look cute." So I picked one up for 0.17 ETH. Kind of irresponsible, just threw $500 at it as a YOLO play. And then yesterday morning, I woke up and the price floor was 1.5 ETH. So I'm over close to 10xing my ETH. I had offers sitting on it for over an ETH, but now the price floor has corrected a little bit. It's come back down to 0.88. Still huge gains from where I picked it up, but the offers aren't coming in as quickly. I don't know. Ryan really convinced me not to sell yesterday when I had those big offers sitting on it. Now I'm a little bit upset. But Ryan, you want to tell me why I shouldn't sell it today?
I think that a lot of the value from these pudgy penguins comes from Twitter. I mean, there's so much hype on Twitter about these pudgy penguins, and there's a lot of memeability of pudgy penguins. A lot of these pudgy penguins are becoming memes, and the more people that see those memes, the more people will know what these things are, and that's kind of how they get the value. You'll see these NFTs on Twitter, and maybe someone will want to buy them, and it'll push the price floor up.
So I really want to get to this interview as soon as possible. So let's maybe show the horses that Brian picked up, and then we can start the interview.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, it's all good. Brian, do you want to share anything about the horses?
Yeah, I mean, I already pretty much went over it. Let me see if I can get one on. It might take too long to bring it up, so we can.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So I asked the chat what NFT projects they're looking at this week. 13 Sound says they picked up a Cunning Fox yesterday. Madiar says a Rumble Kong NFT. I have not heard of that. Have you guys?
No, I haven't.
I've seen it because I spent like hours trying to find the next project that I wanted to go into and carefully selecting. That's why I went with the Glue Factory. You guys won in my book. That little contest I had in my head, you guys won it. But I did see Rumble Kong and the previous one you just mentioned. I can't find it now, but yeah. So yeah.
We got a quick question from Bruin Anteater. Why can't they just screenshot the avatar if someone else wants to use it? You totally can, man. You can do that, but it's a fake flex. It's like wearing a picture of somebody else's Yeezys. It's just not. That's not it. It's tokenized on the blockchain. It's an NFT, right? It's basically a receipt, proof of ownership, which is where the money comes in. But yeah, if you aren't hip to NFTs yet, we will get you hip with this interview. We have with us today the co-founder of Axie Infinity, Alexander. I'm going to bring him on stream right now. Alexander, how you doing today? Thanks for joining us.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, sounds great.
I'm good. Yeah, I was just watching you guys talking about NFTs. So
are there any?
Yeah, I've also I also buy a few profile picture projects. My favorite one though, yeah, it's Subducks right now.
Oh, I've seen those.
Okay.
Now
the floor is gonna go up 3 ETH.
Oh no! I don't show. I think I have like maybe 21 left. I bought 30 at the drop.
What's the price for it?
I think like 0.36 or 39 maybe. I don't know. I'm tracking it. Briefly after I sold all my Bored Apes, I had to find something new. So I got lucky on those two drops. Other than that, I didn't. Yeah,
you need some JPEGs in your portfolio.
yeah. I mean, since I am the creator or one of the co-creators of Axie, I mean,
you have to.
Been pretty busy with that. But when it's NFT season, you gotta take some drops here and there. And I have a lot of friends who are super into it, so they let me know when something cool is happening, and then I'm pretty much okay, do I like this art? Do I not like this art? Am I confident, or can I keep this even if it goes to zero? Like, would I still like it? Like that's just my framework. If I find that is cool, then yeah, okay, I'm happy to do that.
I have one of a Justin Rowland NFT from one of his drops that the prices keeps going down, but I wanted it just because I like his art, and I like Rick and Morty is good, but I like him and a few of his other projects. But that's how I feel about it. It's not to make money. I can just hold it, and I know I own it.
I think I mean, it's like you're building your digital identity with these NFTs. I mean, that's the way I see. It's a good segue into Axie and about me. Like, what I'm interested in is like, yeah, I think I see games as the portal into owning your identity online, because everyone, like, they're playing games. Back in the day, you didn't own any of the items you had. You're just stuck in one place. Now, if you have your item, like say Axie, maybe in the future, in 10 years, you can use that in some other game, or move that back to Ethereum. Right now, we have our own sidechain, but we started out on Ethereum, so definitely into that interoperability aspect.
Very cool. So if there's anyone out there who hasn't heard of Axie yet, could you give us like a high level overview of what the game is and how it started?
Yeah, sure. So, at a very high level, Axie Infinity is a digital pet, community or game universe where you have your cute Axie game characters that can be used across many different games. We launched the project early in 2018, and since then, we've been, heads down, just building, creating different games. It's a little bit similar to some of these PFP projects that are launching now that are turning into some game related stuff, but we were really early there, and then we just kind of doubled down. Our goal was always to make different games, so we had a breeding game, and then we have a battle game, which is now found through product market fit. We've got about 1.1 million daily active users, so yeah, I think it's without a doubt one of the more
Wow,
if not the
1.1
most
million.
used crypto project at this point.
That's insane. That's a huge number. That makes Axie the biggest blockchain game, right? And it's only getting bigger.
Yeah, I think if not only the biggest blockchain game, like probably bigger than most of these other decentralized applications in the world, and is also, I guess, seen with the amount of revenue that the game is generating. So, I guess what it tells us is that once a game find product market fit, if it is good, if there is a lively community, they will generate a lot of money because the economies are so much more powerful when they're built using blockchain tech. So that's what we believed, and that's what we set out to build. There was some tough times. Now we're at a point where we do good in the space. I think it's pretty exciting to be here now.
So what do you think, if there had to be one thing that made Axie so successful, what do you think it is?
I mean, it's a combination of many different things. I mean, this is we just stuck it out when so many of our competitors got wrecked. Like they stopped building, they stopped believing in the space. So I would say like a combination of the team and the community that we managed to build very early on. So we just we did unscalable things for so many years. I mean, I think at one point I knew the name of everyone in the Discord. Just kept chatting with them. I mean, the space was so much smaller back then when we got started. So it wasn't really destined that it would be as big as it was today. But it's just that grit that you need to have when you're building something for the longer period of time. So combination of team, community, and of course that we don't make mistakes in terms of get smart contracts hacked, or in terms of the economy side of things. Like all of these, like any sort of successful blockchain game should have a combination of game, community, and economy. If you have these three things, then yeah, you're probably going to be doing pretty good in the long term.
So cool.
Totally. Were you involved in cryptocurrency before Axie Infinity, or was Axie what got you involved?
Yeah, so actually I'm Norwegian. In Norway, we don't really need crypto. I feel like everyone trusts the government. I mean, it's not the same focus on, I would say, freedom as you guys have in America. So I was never really drawn to Bitcoin. I actually was kind of disenchanted when I heard about Dogecoin because I felt like it was so dumb. I didn't see any particular use case. But actually, my dad traded Bitcoin. But other than that, I was more fascinated with Ethereum once that got released, and the ability to build things in terms of you can basically program something on a blockchain. I thought that was amazing. So when that happened, I really kind of doubled down, and I started reading about what happens when you can have self-driving cars. They can have their own DAOs, like that kind of stuff. Is just like I think everyone has that thing. When we really go down the rabbit hole and you understand what this technology enables, that's when you get excited. So yeah, early 2017. That's really when I got started. I bought some Ether. That was great. Suddenly it was mooning. That was nice. Started playing CryptoKitties. That's where I met the other Axie guys.
Very fascinating. So it was the smart contracts that really got you interested in it. Do you come from a CS or development background then?
No, actually, I'm a competitive gamer by nature. So I'm more from the gaming side of things. I played competitive games for maybe 15, 20 years. I represented Norway in Warcraft 3. Dota, and I was like a top 200 Dota player in Europe at one point.
Wow. Old school.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm 35, so probably one of the earliest versions of gamers. So we played games before it was cool, where it was just to win. So that's my mentality. Like I love winning. And then was building communities. I was working in something totally unrelated to blockchain, and then I changed my job into gaming when blockchain gaming appeared, because I thought it would change the way that games are being played. And when there are massive shifts in a particular industry, if you're early there, you can have tremendous levels of impact. And that was my belief, and that's why I just I'm going to dedicate my life into doing this thing, and then we did it. So I quit my job, moved to Vietnam, and I lived there for a few years with the rest of the founding team in Axie. It was pretty great.
Cool. I want to touch on just for a minute the price of Axie Infinity's token, because it's just shot up like crazy. I remember like maybe a little bit over a month ago it was under $10. Now it's the top, I'm not sure, I think it was like 33rd biggest cryptocurrency last time I checked. It's over $60. It just ran up like an insane amount. So from what I understand, there was a change in the game's dynamic that maybe made breeding more profitable, and brought users in. Can you maybe explain what you attribute the increase in price to?
Yeah, so it's a combination of many things. So when we got started this year, we didn't have our Axies on our own sidechain. Everything was on Ronin, so a large part of the game was being gated behind very expensive gas fees. So over the past couple of years, we had been building our own sidechain, which is called Ronin, and then we released that early in February this year. And eventually, we also, let players migrate their Axies over to Ronin, and that's really, what triggered this. That was like kind of an innovation trigger, where we had a lot of pent up demand. People were finally able to breed new Axies, and that let people really enable, see the benefits that Axie Infinity enabled, because so much of the value was being lost into MEV. So miners, they were extracting too much value out of Axie for a long time. Now we took that back. We turned it a little bit more decentralized, more centralized. But then again, that benefited the users, because they could earn more money. Basically, they can earn more tokens without paying gas fees. And that's what really triggered an immense period of growth. And then eventually people started to realize that, hey, the Axie token is tremendously underpriced compared to the price, the amount of revenue that's being generated. So as an example, in January we had 100K in revenue, and in July we had 196 million.
Wow.
And so far this month we have about 150 million in revenue.
Wow.
So this kind of growth, that should also be reflected in the token's price. And we didn't really have any inclination of why would we have a value capture for the token. We were quite fine with it being a little bit lower price, but then we figured, if Axie is mooning, probably the token should also go up a little bit in value. So we flipped the switch, and we enabled the breeding to go only in AXS tokens. And that's also what triggered some growth. And then we also increased the price of AXS so that it would capture a little bit more value. And that's something that we're constantly looking at. So how can we make sure that the economy actually makes sense for everyone who's playing Axie Infinity?
That makes sense. So what are some different ways that players can earn crypto through playing Axie Infinity?
Yeah, so there are a few simple ways. If you're a player, if you don't have any tokens or any crypto at all, you can find other players in our Discord, or ask some friends who you might know who have Axies, and they can borrow the Axies that they have too. If you do that, then you can play for free, and then you can generate some SLP tokens just by playing, or even AXS tokens if you place high enough on the leaderboard. So that's the play to earn aspect of it. And if you then buy your Axies, or if you buy Axies, you can also earn Ether if you are a good trader or breeder, and then you sell them the Axies that you breed. So there are different routes into monetizing Axie Infinity.
Cool. So I saw that you guys are thinking about possibly changing the amount of Axie tokens that you need, or SLP tokens that you need to actually breed Axies. And so with all of the price action on Axie Infinity lately, has that been done yet, or is that something still in the works?
Yeah, so we actually just had a economic update. So the first one was that we reduced the amount of SLP that could be earned in adventure mode. And the reason for that is, we see that a certain amount of a certain player base, you can call them bots, you can call them, the unskilled laborers of Axie Infinity, that they're only playing adventure mode, and they're not really adding much value to the ecosystem other than just clicking. It's a little bit boring, because what we actually need is players who are playing PvP, who are making content, who are spreading the word of Axie to others. So that's why we reduced that pretty drastically. We cut it by 50%. But then we did increase the amount of tokens that players could earn if they are good in PvP. So what we are trying to do here is incentivize the right kind of behavior in Axie. Right? We want to migrate the player base from unskilled players into skilled players. Right? That's one way of looking at it. But at the same time, those who want to just chill and play adventure mode, they can do that. So we did an economic change there, and at the same time, we also reduced today we actually reduced the AXS breeding fee from 4 to 2. So yeah, the token price is now about $65.8, which is really high. Of course, like it costs quite a lot to breed a new Axie, but I mean, it was 4 AXS not too long ago, and then the price was $40. So yeah, the price is jumping up pretty fast.
Have you seen the Axie market react to this change yet? Does it move quickly? Like, are Axies cheaper today than they were yesterday because they cost less to breed?
Not necessarily a certain amount of Axies, but some Axies are cheaper, right? The lower level, I would say, the ones who are worse at winning, right? So we see Axie as I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with something like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon games, right? In all these games, like card playing or collectible games, you need a meta level deck. If you have that meta level deck, that's when you can compete at the highest level. And actually, that might cost like $1,000 or $2,000. And if you have that, you can actually do really well in the arena if you're a good player. But the worst level of Axies, they're dropping a little bit in price. But we have another mechanism to incentivize people to hold Axies on their wallets. So the more Axies you have in your wallet, the more energy you can get, so that you can actually play more games and generate more tokens. So it's a very I would say delicate system that takes a long time, a lot of trial and error to figure out in a good way. And I think that's what we're pretty good at in the team.
Very cool. So I want to point out a comment from, I think it's Paulo Ibe, that the Axie is viral here in the
Philippines. He was talking about Fluff World in that one.
I don't think so. I think Axie is viral in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it might be Fluff World too, but Axie is definitely viral in the Philippines.
Yeah. So can we talk about maybe what do you think made it viral in the Philippines? Maybe how play to earn could have led to this?
Yeah. So that's really what it was. So actually, I was on Filipino TV the other day. That was interesting. They were making like a segment on Axie. So yeah, last year, what we saw is that it was possible when we had released the token economy. People didn't really understand like what was happening. They had no idea what was possible. But there was we had some influencers in the Philippines who were spreading it to smaller communities, and then in one place it really stuck as the price was increasing a little bit. So what these people figured out is called the Nueva Ecija, that city, and that's also where a documentary was filmed. So in that particular village, it started to go viral because people started to realize that, hey, we can actually make way more than the minimum wage just by playing the game.
Yeah,
and that was good. I mean, and that was the trigger. So people started quitting their jobs. They started doing like the full-time Axie. So I'm pretty sure it's changed that village forever. And it's very humbling to see, and it also like a lot of responsibility to see how many people are living off Axie in the Philippines. And then it's just I've been tracking on the map where it's spreading from one village to another. It's really it's very interesting to see just how fast that grows. And now it's even spreading to even Ghana. So I saw some guys in Ghana who were the same thing you would see back in the day when you were looking at people who were teaching other people about Bitcoin, like these small meetups, these minor places. It's like the not really the dredges of society, but like the people who are a little bit geeky. They're first. They want to teach other people what's happening here. Magic, internet money. Now it's magic, digital pets, and that's what's happening. Where there are meetups now about Axie across the world, and that's something that we definitely want to incentivize, and we will be doing more of.
Yeah, those PvP games really go viral over there too, just like in segments. But this one looks like it kind of took off and held strong. But you got a really good point where they're making more than minimum wage by playing on, you can play on any computer. You don't need a really expensive rig or anything like that to do this. Just need an internet connection. You can make a lot more money than, whatever job is down the street that is paying, minimum wage. That is you're right. I mean, changing these people's lives forever. That's awesome.
It's pretty yeah, it's quite, you know, humbling, as I said, because there's a lot of responsibility. How can we make this last for a longer period of time, so that the economy doesn't really burn out? It's one of the risk factors, for example. I think not only in Axie, but in any type of blockchain game.
So AO Finance says, any plans to reduce the barrier of entry for new players? I know you guys have a scholarship program, so if you could touch on that, that'd be great. And then also, if you do have any plans to actually reduce the barrier of entry, we'd be interested in hearing that as well.
Yeah, so kind of starting at the first thing is the scholarship. So the scholarship is actually enabled by the native account system that we have in Axie. So the way that works is the private key that players own, it determines the amount of actions that they can do on chain, where you can sell Axies, you can claim rewards, you can, you know, anything monetarily. And then there is another part of the account system, which is basically determining who can use the Axies, who can play with them. And that's you. If you just have the account, you know, credentials, you can just log in and play. Now what that enables is that you, if you own many Axies as a person, you can give your credentials to someone else, for example, or give them a QR code so that they can log in on your account and then play on your behalf. So that's basically how the scholarships got started. It's not something that we as a company, you know, enabled specifically. We're making something internal, an internal tool, so that, you know, this happens automatically. Right now, it's completely community created, where, you know, the community guys, they are hiring players and they are distributing salaries to these guys. Some, of course, are running away with the money, like you would have in any other, like people are scamming others. I mean, that's just, you know, human behavior. And on the other side, you have, you know, really tight scholarships where, you know, the person who owns the Axie is known as a manager, and the players are scholars, right? They're working for that guy. So, I mean, there are many stories where people have, you know, been lifted out of poverty just by playing for someone else. So, you know, that's the scholarship situation. We're working on tooling to make it, you know, even more safe, so that people can, you know, distribute. Like, it happens automatically through smart contracts. On the other side, you know, what can be done to reduce the barriers to entry? I mean, to be fair, the hard thing about making a game like Axie, where there is real money involved, is that people need some kind of skin in the game. If not, it's too beneficial to break the rules, because by breaking the rules, there is only stuff to gain, but you don't have anything at stake. So you actually need to stake something, and in this sense, that would be the Axies that you own, because if you break the rules, you would actually be sanctioned. So it's not necessarily that we're going to reduce the barriers of entry to earn something a lot. Like, that is determined by the real Axies that players can buy. But what I'm more fond of is like letting players demo the game. Now, I'm not sure how old you guys are, but like, I'm a little bit older, so back in the day,
You're older than them.
Yeah. Yeah, you used to get like a PC mag, and in that PC mag there was like a demo. There was like a CD demo that you could play, and to just try out the game before you bought it. Like, I see that being a more, you know, natural progression for us, that we release, you know, just the tippity top, so that people can just try the Axie a little bit, see if they like the art, they like the game, and if they then want to, you know, double down and actually play it, that's what they can do.
That makes sense. I've heard that scholarships are actually really competitive to get. So do you have any tips on how to actually secure a scholarship? Or is it mostly just luck?
That's really hard, actually, because I see like the demand is totally crazy. I mean, in the scholarship channel in Discord, you can just see maybe every second the person is writing to get a scholarship. So, and I mean, like almost every second of the day. What I see is a lot of people are making, you know, cool things, and posting that on Twitter and hashtagging Axie Scholarship, or, you know, trying to send that to some guys who are running scholarships, like cool memes or art or music, or like anything that if they have a skill that they can share with the world, that's exciting for, you know, people want to be close to other guys or other people who are passionate about something, who are builders, who want to, you know, add value, not only extract value. Like, that's the difference. Like, if you're a person who wants to add value into a scholarship, then you should just find a way to make sure that people see you. And if you, it's an acquired skill. You need to have something that other people will like. And I mean, that's just how easy it is. Or you can just be an annoying person and spam like, hello, sir, please give me a scholarship. Like, if there are a million, like, you need to think about it, like getting a job. Like, what would separate you from anyone else? Find your skill, or, you know, what makes you unique. I think that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's really good advice. So for anyone who's just tuning in, our guest today is Alexander, the co-founder of Axie Infinity. So smash the like. We're at 45 right now. I think we could get close to 100 for this crazy interview, and drop your questions for Alex in the chat. We have a couple good ones from some in-depth players. Anand wants to know, is there a way to nerf the reptile?
Yeah, I don't really give direct feedback on the, you know, product and the balancing of stuff. Like, my role, I'm actually taken a step down on the product side. So I work mostly related to investors, business stuff, you know, evangelizing. But of course, you know, if things are super crazy, I see that, and I'm telling the team, you know, maybe we should dial this down. But usually they just tell me, hey, man, we got this under control. So I definitely trust our team. Like, the reptile is a very broad thing. Like, I'm not necessarily certain that reptiles are imbalanced. What I would say is, you know, we look at heaps and heaps of data when we are balancing and you know, changing things. And in the future, it's probably going to be even more than that. So I believe in data more than, you know, hey, this thing is too strong. Like, that's it's too personal, right? You might think it's too strong, but that doesn't really mean it is too strong relative to the entire game, right?
Yeah, Anand, maybe you just need to get good. All right.
Yeah, or that. Like, you can say that in other terms, right?
So Hat Dog wants to know, when are you going to implement Axie skins?
Yeah, the good thing about Axie is that the design space is so open that we can, you know, make a whole lot of cool stuff in the future. I would say that we're maybe only 15 to 20% finished with Axie. Wow. Like, there's land there. You can make many different other games. You can turn it into a virtual world in the end. And then you can, of course, like, implement skins or do other things inside the battle game itself. I mean, I'm more fond of, you know, let's say if you can implement, you know, something like taunts, or, you know, these are very basic things in other standard games. You know, the reason why we don't have them is because we needed to make an entire blockchain first. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. If we could only focus on the game for 3 years, it would be a very different game.
No. And one last chat question. I have to go grab a charger for my computer. Do you think a low Axie price would mean more bot farms?
I mean, it's possible. Low Axie prices, yeah, people would buy them because they would I mean, that would be a lower risk for them, because if the Axies got banned, like, it wouldn't be as painful. And I'm sure some people would do that, but at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. Like, a lot of people will buy Axies anyway and play them. Botters are just one part of it. There are a lot of people who are, you know, writing or sharing videos of bot farms. What they don't understand is that at the time that these videos are shared, like, those bot farms are 99% certain already banned. Because if not, why would they share the videos? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So imagine if you have a bot farm and you're then taking a video of that and you're sharing it online. Like, if we see that, of course we're going to ban your ass. Yeah. So it's like, that would be the dumbest thing these guys would ever do. The reason why they're spreading that stuff in social media is they want to, like, FUD and want to show, hey, this is what we're doing, right? So I mean, I'd hate those guys. I mean, whatever. I'll ban every single one of them if I can find them. Like, no mercy.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to say, yeah, I do remember PC Mag, and I remember I did a lot of competitive Halo 2 gaming and stuff on the original Xbox, and League of Legends and all that stuff. And I don't know if Ryan and Logan were around whenever Halo 2 and Halo 1 were making its big range, and it makes me feel like an old man.
We got some Zoomers here.
I know. I get it. Trust me. But so off of that, there's the AXS ecosystem is slated to launch in later this year or into 2022. What kind of utility is will it bring to the Axie token?
Yeah, so the Axie token is created to capture value in Axie Infinity and to incentivize the right kind of behavior from the players and the stakers that we want. So one of the things that we see frequently happen in many ecosystems is that those who hold the tokens, they don't really do any work. They're passive. They're passive investors, and at the same time, they get rewarded by, staking rewards. For us, that's not so attractive. We would rather, give those who are doing that extra level of work more rewards. So you can think about it like this: if you're staking the token, the AXS token, you will get newly issued AXS each week. But if you do some extra work, and that work might be, a mission that we as developers tell you to do. Like that weekly mission could be something like, hey, maybe you want to tweet about Axie. Hey, maybe you want to play the game, like for one game, right? We could incentivize the right kind of behavior that we want our players to do. And if they do that, they get more rewards. So I think that's a key aspect of how we see the ecosystem. And at the same time, if you do that, you'll also get the chance to, decide what the money is being spent on that's in the treasury. So, that's just how we see this evolving. Like there has to be interest in this. Like people have to care. People have to, do something. If not, like this is not really going to work in the long term. And at the same time, we respect that there is passive capital too. They can get something, but maybe it makes sense to reward those who are, actually care and do more stuff. Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense. We've learned one thing doing this show in the last couple months, that a product is really only as good as its community. And as long as you have a healthy, happy, engaging community, it's much harder to fail. And on top of that, you have a skilled dev team, you have you have a really awesome product and a lot of, a full ecosystem with a lot of backdrop, like depth to it. I mean, there's no wonder why Axie got to the point where it is now. But going back to the community, I mean, if the community respects the project and it goes vice versa, I mean, that's your biggest chance of success. You can be selling fucking bananas on a JPEG, but as long as the community is good, you can make millions of dollars. It's all about what you put in and what you expect your community to take out and put in as well. So that's why I think a lot of the success comes from is what you guys have done really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, we realized that really early. I mean, so that's why I'm saying like we did unscalable things for the longest time. And I also, I think it's about respecting what NFTs really are.
Yeah.
Like from my point of view, NFT is like you're minting a part of the soul, like you're minting you are putting a part of the soul of your company or that game or that brand onto the chain, and it's like lasting forever. If you make a mistake in that process, like you're basically just like asking your fans, you're telling them to fuck off because you don't respect them. And I think so many people are doing that with NFTs. Like they have no idea what they are shipping into the wild. Like they have no idea when you have influencers, like they're creating their first NFT and it's like just a shit show. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like, please, there is only once first time. Like you can't take it back once you've minted it on the chain. And if you have committed to that, that's reality. Like there's no going back. Like even if you try to delete it, like people say that the internet's forever, blockchain is forever. Like literally, there is no way to go back here. And I think people need to understand that, and that's probably we understood that before many people. And that's a part of why we're successful right now. I hope that many people will understand that too. I mean, I see so many cool projects popping up now. As I said, like the Board API Club, they're doing it great. I think Subtux as well are doing it amazingly. I like the founder there, and this like has unique art. Probably also sorts of these other PFP pictures, the PFP profiles that have good ideas, but in the coming year or so, maybe 2 years, we'll see who can stick it out. Like there's going to be a bear market sooner or later. I mean, I'm not what's that dude like Tony Vase? I'm not that bearish as he is oftentimes, but I mean it's not going to go up forever like that. That's just not how it works.
There's a bubble, but like you said, there's so many more things to do with NFTs, and it's not just art. It's part of soul. It's part of this whole movement, and there's so many different things that you can happen. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. Yeah.
So I want to go back. I know you mentioned the plots of lands coming to Axie Infinity. I know they're already available on the marketplace. How can users actually monetize this land once it comes to the game?
Yeah, so land is a very interesting concept. I try to be a little bit cagey about it, but at a very high level, I see land in the same way that I see Axies. Axies are game characters that can be used in many different games. Land probably will be the same thing. Like, I can see land being one game which is very Clash of Clans like, and I can see land being used in another virtual world where you have land, you can put your similar to Decentralized or Sandbox or whatever other type of virtual worlds. So I think that's a thing that I'm very excited about. I think people have a very limited viewpoint of, okay, I'm trying to put things into my box here, but like that's not how it works. Like, if you just have people who care about the products, about the ecosystem, there is unlimited amount of value that can be added to NFTs. And land, particularly, the potential there is just massive to make something cool. For now, though, you can look at your land, you can trade your land. Like, that was the use case for Axies for quite some time too. But we're working on deploying something there. But it's going to take a little bit of time. As Axie is scaling fast, a lot of the resources that we have to be redirected into making sure that the existing product actually works. So if it doesn't work, we would have players who were, I purchased these expensive Axies with the premise that I would be able to play. Suddenly I can play. Right, makes them sad, and of course us too.
Very cool. So Axie Infinity has generated more revenue than many of like the big DeFi giant blue chip like protocols. So could we talk a little bit about Axie's current business model and maybe some possible future business models?
Yeah. So when we're considering, my girlfriend in the back here, when we're considering, the revenue streams of Axie, there were, at this current moment, there are two ways for us to make money. So we have one, which is the marketplace fee. Is very straightforward. Whenever an Axie or land is being traded on our marketplace, we take a 4.25% commission fee. So that's one part of it. I think that is generating maybe like 1/8 of the total revenue in these past couple of months. And then the last 7/8 come from the breeding fee. Whenever an Axie is being bred, it requires like SLP, which is the part of the token that can only be found inside the game. And once that is being used to breed, that token is being burned. Then you have the other part, which is the AXS token, which we then put in the treasury, and that's where the most of the revenue is coming from. So people are buying AXS to breed, and they are earning SLP inside the game as well.
Where can you get AXS?
I think most markets right now, maybe maybe Coinbase is one of the few places where it's not traded. I'm not sure if that's happening, or who knows. No leaks there yet, but I mean, other than that, in Binance, Upbit, Huobi, all of these other places, even any decentralized exchange, the liquidity is really deep. I didn't check it today, but it's what is up? Yeah, the volume. Oh, is it really that high? Yeah, the volume is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7th in the world today.
Wow.
On the 24-hour volume. So,
well, geez.
So have you done any big fundraising or been approached by any accelerators or venture capitalists?
Yeah, so we our company, the Sky Mavis company, has gone through an early accelerator from 500 startups in when was that, 2018 I'm thinking I can't recall if it was 2018, 2019, but yeah. We did that, and then we had a seed round, or then we had a Series A round a couple of months ago. After that, we also sold some tokens, but we prefer to not sell tokens at this point. Like, we're very bullish on AXS, so we're trying to keep as much as we can.
Rightfully so.
On our balance sheet, like, we just want to stake it. We want to stake our tokens so that we can be a part of the upside of Axie. And of course, like, in terms of institutional investors, I mean, I think we've invented a new market, right? So there should be there's plenty of interest from probably the top investors in the world right now.
I'm sure, yeah. So something you mentioned earlier, a really cool part about NFTs is that they can go into other games. So are we going to see Axies in Decentraland someday? Are we going to see other NFTs in the Axie Infinity world someday? Do you have any cool upcoming partnerships you can tell us about?
I mean, Axie's, you know, there's been a smaller part that's been like some stuff. Some people have made something in Decentraland, but it's not, you know, a direct partnership. Like Axie's could be, people could use the API and then, you know, put things in other games. But you know, what we found is that when we were doing partnerships with, for example, like Aave, MakerDAO, we even had partnerships with Samsung, and Ubisoft, like on the more like larger side back in the day, and we also had, you know, partnerships with like smaller blockchain gaming studios. But what we figured out is that this is actually a distraction from our core mission. Like we just want to make great products, and you know, maybe we'll partner with some, you know, super exclusive large luxury brand in the future. Depends a little bit if we see that it's a good fit for Axie and the community. But you know, we're in such a luxurious position that, you know, we don't have to do anything we don't like. So everything that we do, we're just gonna, you know, we do what we want because we like it, because we think it will benefit our user base. And you know, if people don't, you know, the some guys maybe want to partner with us, yeah, they will have to have something good to bring to the table.
That's an awesome position to be in, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, super luxury. Back in the day, I mean, we were hustling hard. Like I didn't know anyone. So I mean, you just have to keep hustling until you can, you know, reach the top. I'm not sure if this is I mean, this might be the crypto top, but you know, there's an entire world out there to, you know, conquer and win. So that's where
it's just starting. It's just
beginning.
I
mean, people don't like, how many, like, people just know crypto as, you know, Bitcoin. People think Bitcoin is crypto. Like crypto is much more than Bitcoin. I mean, I mean, I might hold some Bitcoin, but you know, crypto is like, it's a brand new paradigm for owning assets, owning your identity, owning all of these things that like you could never do. Like when they made the internet, there was a mistake. They failed at certain aspects of it. So we're remaking the internet in our image, and I think you know, that's what excites me about the space.
Well, Alexander, thank you so much for coming on today, sharing the Axie story with us. It's inspirational. It's amazing. I'm so excited to see what you guys do in the future, and when you build out the rest of that 80% of the game that you were talking about earlier. I don't have any more questions, so I want to turn the floor over to you. If you have anything else you want to let the audience know, any shout outs you want to give, the floor is yours.
I mean, shout out to everyone who's playing Axie, who's holding on to AXS, who is tweeting about us, who wants to be a scholar, everyone who's involved in Axie. You guys are amazing. Like we couldn't have done this without you. There's still a long way to go. So yeah, it's going to be tough sometimes too, but you know, you just have to stick through it. Like good things come to those who do things for a long period of time. Like nothing comes easy in life. Like that's what I believe.
Awesome.
Agreed.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, I'm going to peace out. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good one. All righty, that was the Axie interview. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, let us know by smashing the like button so the YouTube algorithm can show this to everyone else who plays Axie. We can spread that incredible story all across the internet, make that shit go viral, and also go retweet some of the clips on the Benzinga crypto channel so people can see it there as well. Guys, what'd you think of that interview?
It's always
really good.
Yeah, every time we have someone that I don't really like, either I don't know a whole bunch about, or that I'm always super surprised at how in-depth and awesome the interview is. Oops.
Yeah, that dude was really smart. He had a great story. He was great at communicating. It seems like he really gets it from every level.
Oh yeah.
So
well, we got 3 minutes left. Should we rip a Rooney to Moon or bust? Maybe just do 2 or 3. We haven't done it in a while.
Rip the MLB real quick.
I mean, the show's called Moon or Bust. We might as well.
Hellfire.
All right, Ryan, get that CoinMarketCap up. I'm gonna roll the intro. It's been way too long since we've done this segment, but if you are new around here, haven't seen this before, this is where you guys drop your cryptos in the chat. We look them up on CoinMarketCap and we give them a moon or bust rating. So blow up the chat right now. We have time for, I think, 1 or 2, and we're gonna have to go really quickly.
Boom, boom, boom.
Should we start with the AXS token or the SLP token?
Moon. Done.
Next.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is there to say about it? It's like the biggest crypto project there is right now.
Yeah, I think it was super undervalued for a while. It's catching up now. It's expensive, but rightfully so. They're generating a ton of revenue.
We got ADA on the chart in the
That
chat
shit
too.
is ripping. ADA's also been ripping lately. So maybe we pull that one up as
187. I bought in, I think, at 43 cents.
Very
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know my position on ADA, I'm not a huge supporter of it just because they don't have a smart contract ecosystem out there. Otherwise, you know, it looks like it's promising with 2 layers. There's a computational layer and a transaction settlement layer. So definitely some cool ideas, but not too much execution. That's why I don't like it. That being said, I think it's going to go up with the bull run. I think there's a lot of hype around it. I think we could see much higher prices than we're seeing now. I'm still giving it a bust though. So
well, I agree with you. I think they're one of the slower ones to come out the gate with their actual project and product and doing everything they want. But there's so many big names, and I'm going to give it a moon because it has potential promise. If you look at the 5-10 year plan, it's a big one.
Yeah, Ryan, I'm gonna have to disagree with you as well. Even though I'm a big Ethereum bull long term, I think Cardano has its place in the market. I think that Charles Hoskinson has the ability to execute and the following to execute. The team is also superb. It's like the second or third fastest growing and most quickly developing projects in the space, according to the Electric Capital Developers report from last year. I think that they have a solid product. The team is really solid, and the market's just going to take them all the way up. My price target on Cardano is like a conservatively like $5. So I hold a bag of it.
Yep.
Moon from me.
Same. Moon, bust. Overall, moon. 2 out of 3 moons.
2 out of 3 moons. It's officially a moon. Maybe we do Solana really quick. It's already 3 o'clock.
It's a moon too.
It's probably a moon too.
They're all moons.
We'll go into it more next time. We'll be back Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern time. So set a calendar reminder, maybe like 40 of them. You don't want to miss it. We have another great interview coming up for you. But speaking of great content, stay tuned to the channel. We have another amazing show coming up next, pre-market prep at the close. If you want that stonk action, stick around, follow that redirect. But for now, this has been Moon or Bust, your home for all things altcoins and DeFi. We will see you on Friday. Peace out.